All right, next we're gonna talk about some shoulder health for catchers, okay? So what you can get is 2 tennis balls, tape them together, doesn't have to be very fancy, or a lacrosse or a regular tennis ball would work great, or even a foam roller, okay? So ideally the peanut is what we call it. We're gonna do 3 exercises here. You're gonna find your thoracic spine or your T-spine, okay? So if no one's facing this way, you got the inside edge of your scapula, which is a bone, okay? And then you got this meat of muscle right here, and then your spine. So what we're gonna do is try to find 3 sections of those rhomboids, those lower traps, those muscles that kind of congregate right there. And with the peanut, see there's a big gap in the middle, that's where your spine's gonna sit, okay? So we're gonna split this into 3 sections, high, middle, and low. We're gonna go through some exercises. So when we get that on there, find a good comfortable spot, okay? I like to start low. We're gonna cross over and find our breath. So we're gonna breathe in and out through our nose. We're thinking expanding our belly and our ribs out 360 degrees, and then relaxing our head. You might get some snap, crackles, and pops, that's fine. Find a couple breaths at each spot there to kind of get to know your T-spine. And then when you're good and you feel a little bit more comfortable with it, this might be extremely uncomfortable, and that's totally fine. Just ease into it, okay? If you can't breathe in the position, then you don't own that position. So after you're done breathing here, you can brace your belly down so we don't get into lumbar extension. You can flex down, and we're gonna go through swimmers. So shoulder flexion and extension, and then switch, shoulder flexion, extension. What we're doing here is we're trying to bias and trying to drive some upward rotation and free up some of that business that gets caught up. Try to get some shoulder flexion, because as a catcher, you're always spending time down here, arm out ahead. We're gonna try to get up and maybe a little bit back, okay? Next one here is we're gonna go to the pec. So ideally, you can get on a wall or maybe the edge of a rack or a bed frame or something like that. When you're doing your shoulder though, so you have the inside edge here, all the way down, and then towards the middle. Obviously stay off the bone for obvious reasons, right? But start up in the big meat, kind of in that corner between collarbone and then anterior shoulder. And just go through some circles, some presses and pulls, some snow angels, internal, external. You can even do this on the ground. It's not quite as aggressive, so if you're new to this, I would say start on the ground. Maybe start an internal rotation and go through some movement here, some swimmers, just kind of informed freestyle. Just open up that pec, because if you're spending all day down here catching, none of this really gets an opportunity to open up and kind of free itself up from some of that junk. So spend some time there. Again, a lacrosse ball or peanut's gonna be a little more aggressive. Start with a tennis ball if you're new to that. And then a lat, ideally you have a foam roller, but you can use a peanut. So if you're on your lat, big foam roller here, what we're gonna do, your lat originates up in your armpit, okay? So we're gonna start there, and you got this big flab of meat right here. It goes all the way down past your ribs. So what you're gonna do is lay sideways on it, okay, and find some comfort there. And then again, find some breathing pattern here so you own that position. Don't overdo it. If you're balled up, you're not really getting anywhere with tissue work, okay? And you can go through some light movement. You can go through some serratus, press and extend to try to free up some of that scap. Or you can move through some motions. You can go internal, external rotation. Or you simply just hang out here and let gravity do its thing, okay? So we got the pec, we got the lat, and then we got the upper back, the rhomboids, and that whole area to kind of free up some thoracic extension, shoulder upward rotation.